welcome to Sporting Leeds' vlog or podcast, whatever we call it these days. We've got with us today our regular pundits or regular friends or colleagues or footballing people. I'm going to go through one by one so they can show me how to be excited when it comes to a video. So let's say hi to Ruth Bestford.
Hi.
Very excited. You can tell by my voice. Our next resident is WAQQAS Abdul Ghaffar. Hello, WAQQAS.
Hi.
Yeah, you're fantastic. And as always, we've moved from one BBC newsroom to another. And let's say hi to Gibran.
Hiya.
That's it. Gibran's finally got his perm sorted. And last but not least, the colourful and very vibrant Safa.
Hi.
Safa. Okay, guys, but before we get on to the normal shenanigans, what we are going to do, hopefully, by the way, I have to say my recording, I'm hoping, is actually recording this time because our last recording, Safa, did not end up recording. So, if it
no, it did end up recording, you just couldn't hear no audio.
Yeah, the audio didn't do. So before we start, I'm going to ask you how your week has been. So let's go reverse order this time. Since our last catch-up, Saf, anything exciting that's been happening?
Nothing really, just studies still. Still hard.
Studies hard, yeah? Gibran?
Yeah, they've been all right, same as always, just online work and that's it. And then week's finished, innit?
Anything out of the ordinary, nothing out of the ordinary, or everything according to the normal pattern?
We're in lockdown, nothing out of the ordinary can happen.
Very good answer in case the police are watching, Jay. Okay.
Playing in the snow.
Yeah?
Playing in the snow.
Playing in the snow. And can you tell me what you call your snow person?
Bushra.
And can I just ask you what motivated you and influenced you to call your snow person Bushra?
First name that came to mind.
That shows the daciness that Monkey's got to her nature. And the first thing that came to her mind was Bushra.
First thing that came to your mind is Bushra.
Yes.
Yeah, but then it was a girl in it, and my brother said name it Johnny or something. I was like, no.
It was a girl, so he named it Johnny.
Well, that's what we live in today, isn't it, Jay? Really? I mean, your name's Jay, and for all we know, it could stand for Johnny as well.
Exactly.
Ruth Bestford?
No, not really.
Nothing excited. I'm sure Ruth was one of those that were telling me to be very colourful and excited and vibrant. Any kick-off of football in the park, Ruth, or not?
Yeah, went to the park today.
Went to the park, and who's better at you, Ben and Yasha? Anyone caught up to you or not?
No, still beat the wall.
Guys, what we'll do is I'm gonna get cracking because what I said to you, I've said to you guys already pre-recording, was that yesterday I was doing a FA course on scouting and talent ID, and obviously we've had players in the past, and many of you guys in the past have all been to a trial, but as you can all tell, that we've never had, like when Jay went to York City trials as a Ruth, and you guys went, there were no clear-cut thing that you knew what your scouts or your coaches were looking out for. Even, say, when Muki went to Leeds United and she was successful, she probably didn't know in particular what them scouts were looking out for. So it was interesting because in that I found many things that I thought were interesting as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little share screen here, hopefully. And let me go back to my little... These are a screenshot off my phone, so if they are a little bit blurry, then I hopefully you'll be able to see it. So let me have a little click on this. So can you guys see that a bit clearly, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'll get you guys to read it out a little bit so it's not just me reading it. So Ruth, start with key considerations.
Once you're in position, it's time to assess players' performance. Select the icons below to reveal some important things to consider.
Yeah, so this was telling me. So this was saying to me that if I'm a scout and say I'm scouting for, say, Manchester United, Leeds United, Man City, and I come to watch a Sporting Leeds player, these are things that you do in order. So say, for example, I would come in to watch Ruth or Gibran play or Safa play. or Monkey play, I would not tell any one of you guys that I'm coming to watch you play. So I'll tell you club, and I'll go and stand on the opposite side, on the side where the parents stand. And then these are the things that I would consider in my head about whether I should pick a player or not. So I will already know who I'm coming to look at in particular. And then these are the things in order that I would, look out for. So Jay, lead me in order first.
What?
So read the first part that I might be looking out for. Start from reaction to coaching input.
Reaction to coaches' input, interaction with the team, decision-making abilities, responses to setbacks, age-appropriate technical understanding, range of technical skill.
Okay, so I'm going to go through that briefly, one by one. But if I were to ask you how many, this was my point earlier, how many of them skills are really based on how technically good you are? Out of them 6 that Jay's mentioned, how many is based on your technical ability?
2.
Which 2 would you say, Jay?
The age-appropriate technical understanding. Actually, no, that's just more thing, isn't it? That's still just understanding.
Mental.
Range of technical skills.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, that's it, because all the other ones are just in your head, innit?
Yeah. So
how you think of the game.
1 out of 6 is about how good you are with the ball at your feet, and not only your feet, but your technical ability. 5 out of 6 are all to do with your mind. So, for example, one of the things that we need to improve on at Sporting Leeds is, it said early on, and it might come back to it, is that a scout will look at how well you warm up. So, like, let me rewind back to the schoolgirls trials that we had. So, really, a good scout, from the moment that Ruth and Muqaddas went onto that pitch with all them girls there, they will look at how energetic you are in your warm up. Yeah, so you're like physical. So literally, when you walk into the pitch, are you walking like a slouch? Are you nervous? Are you not? Are you warming up with aggression or not? You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I know definitely that I didn't think that they considered that as I thought really it's more about how you play in the game, but they look at how good you are in your warm up. Yeah, reaction to coaching input and interaction with your team. If your coach is telling you tactics, are you like thinking, oh, there he goes again, or are you actually thinking, oh, well, I'm going to put that into the game, and that's what that's about. Response to setbacks is a big one. Give me a bit of a comment back if you think that that's possibly a weakness or a strength in anyone's game. Anyone?
What was it? I don't know what you said.
Response to setbacks. So in a game, you go 4-0 down. How do you respond? Yeah, I want you to think about yourself. In a game, a goal gets given that you think shouldn't be a goal. In a game, a free kick gets given against you that you don't think should be. Or so the referee misses something and you're frustrated. How do you respond? I'll start with Ruth. How do you think you respond? How do you think you are when it comes to responding to setbacks?
I usually do just carry on, but sometimes when I get really frustrated, I would argue and say what I think should happen.
Mm-hmm. But mentally, inside yourself, internally, do you think you're in a position where it would affect your performance, say, taking off some percentage about how good your performance is?
I think it makes me more aggressive.
Yeah.
In the play, because I think it's a long decision. So, yeah.
Okay.
Same. I think I get really frustrated. I start shouting basically. But I think I'm starting to calm down, to be honest.
Yeah. I think that is a strength that you're building on. You've come a long way. I think you've always, this is where you have to match up your desire to win in it. Like, kind of, you've always been used to winning and you've always won. But as you get into more competitive settings, it's not always going to happen. Like, let me rewind back to the time where, say, early last season when we lost 2-3 games. Remember that girl season where we lost 4-0 early doors?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
We were facing better competition. So it wasn't, the level of competition as you get better is going to get higher and higher, and it's not always going to result in you winning. So it's about how you respond to that. Do you accept that as a challenge, or do you think, well, you know what, yeah, I'm upset that I'm losing, I'm going to walk off, I don't want to play in my head, you shut off. Yeah, you're getting better at it, but that's where that's talking about. Jay?
I don't think losing really sets me back, and if I'm losing, it doesn't really affect my mental game too much, because it's just, it just pushes you to work that much harder, to do something about it, to change that game. But obviously, I'm not pushing myself hard enough if I'm losing every game. Yeah. But if a referee doesn't make the right call, then, obviously I'm not the referee. He doesn't see what I see, and I don't see what he sees. So I can't really argue with the ref, because if he's given something, it's not like my say is going to change his view on things if he's already seen it, innit? Yeah. So in that terms, if a ref gives something that I disagree with, then I just get on with the game, because me arguing is pointless. But, it doesn't really affect me if the ref does something that I would disagree with, or if they're losing, because realistically, there's always chances of you getting back into the game, and it's not like the game's finished after they've scored 4 goals. There's still a chance that you can get back into it. Yeah. And
is there anything that you would say that is specific to you that would annoy you on a pitch, that would possibly affect your performance?
What would affect my performance? I think frustration definitely affects my performance, and it's getting annoyed at other players when they don't do what I say. Obviously, because I don't know. It annoys me.
What do you want to say there? Because obviously they're not as good as me, but he stopped short because he knows it's being recorded. Let me say it for him.
No, it's because I know what they don't know, and they're good players without a brain. And if they don't listen to someone that knows what they're talking about, realistically, they're just shooting themselves in the foot, innit? Really, they're not doing anything for their own benefit. I'm trying to help them and they won't listen. That's what annoys me a lot. Because if I'm telling them to do something right and they carry on making that same mistake, what's the point of me shouting? Yeah. And I know I'll carry on shouting because, I'm not going to stop shouting if they don't listen. And another thing that annoys me is opposition players trying to, beef and just purposely fouling. Like in my first or second game, I think I was running with the ball and the opposition player swiped my feet. I think that was the game when you were there as well, but you were in the car. And then I squared up to him and I was going to, start beating. Then the captain came over and told me not to, and I was like, yeah, fair enough.
But that's where, obviously, like, if you talk about, this is where this comes in, it's response to setbacks. The reason why any academy is not going to take on someone who's mature enough to respond to setbacks is you want people who can control themselves, because you can't control anyone else that you're talking about. If an away team or the opposition team starts annoying you deliberately, then you can't rely on yourself to be an impactful performer in any kind of game, because there'll always be someone or things to annoy you. Like we know from all our experiences. You know what I mean? Safa?
Like, I would get, if like there was like a free kick getting taken, I don't believe that it should, or something like that. I do tend to get a bit rude. Like I tend to like walk off, or just like be like, yeah, whatever, okay, you do what you want, this, that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'll sort that out.
There's no one frustration for anyone. It's all individual, but it's about being able to recognize what annoys you in a game and what you can't let affect you. You know what I mean? Like Muki said earlier on, she said she's working on it. So even as coaches on the side, like we've said so many times to our coaches, that it's harder being a coach, because when you're on the pitch, at least you can influence your game. When you're a coach and you're trying to balance up players getting better and winning, you can easily get frustrated. But it's about not allowing your frustrations to get the better of you. Because if I'm a coach and I so want to win so badly, and then I start shouting you down or hounding you down, and then what's it going to do to the players' performances. So it's about controlling.
Yeah.
You know, if you're 4-0 down, so what? 4-0 down, I'm a coach. How do I respond to that setback? Well, I tell you what, if I carry on shouting, it's going to be 8-0 soon. Or do I be positive and try to get a goal and then come back from there? And so therefore, even as coaches, it's the same as players. You know, this one here, I'm going to ask what you think it means, yeah? Age appropriate technical understanding, yeah? This one here, I'll start with Safa this time because you finished with Safa last time. Safa, what could that mean for you? Age appropriate technical understanding?
Like now that I'm thinking about it, I think it just means like whichever age you're talking to with your team. So say it could be like 11-year-olds, like you're telling them how to play in information that they know that they can like understand in their head.
Yeah,
That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, spot on. We have an under-9s team.
Because you could say like the same thing to every other team which who's older than you or younger than you, but it's like the way you say it is different with each year.
Yeah. You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on. I'm going to say we have an under-9s team, right? If I go by Ruth's example of Ruth's brother Ben is in our team under-9s, would I be giving the same instructions to Ben at his age to say Muki as a more developed player at her age? Would my way or would my instructions of the game be the same to both of them players? Ruth?
No, because he has been playing football for long. He's been playing football for less time, so he doesn't know as much as Muki does. So that will affect his understanding. So you put it in simpler form.
Yeah. I'm not for example, you're not going to say to Ben, by the way, Ben, you're going to play as a wing back, and then I want you to shift in as a centre defensive midfielder, and then you know what, you're going to play that cam role, and then you're going to make a run inside, and you're going to keep it nice and simple, and that's age appropriate technical. I might start like last week when we looked at the patterns of play, that was more advanced, and I would look at you guys at say 14, 15 and say that's where you guys need to start focusing on that. Likewise, giving Ben too much detail is not good, but then expecting 14, 15-year-olds like you guys to not have any understanding is also not good either. And if you guys obviously it can be boring sometimes listening to it, sometimes can be boring practicing it, but if that doesn't come into your game, as you can see later on in one of the other slides, then it's going to be a setback for you guys because, like I say, now we can't do it on the pitch in lockdown, but if you guys are sat there and it's going over your head or it sounds a bit boring, then you're like really robbing yourself of that ability to be technical understanding. Because if it was Ben, I would say, yeah, if you've got space, go and dribble it, go and pass it to the next player, and that would be the simple understanding of the game. But it's not at the stage as what, say, you guys should be at when you've been playing for 3-4 years and you're 13, 14. Do you get what I mean? Let me put this slide a bit forward. Let me see what's next. This is very quick. What if I was a scout, what my observations would be? I'd be looking at your warm-up. I'd be looking at the players involved. I'd be looking at your team starting formation. If I want to watch Ruth play, is the team playing 4-4-2? Where's Ruth playing? Yeah, so that's what that means. Initial observation. So now this is what I'll be looking at the player in the game. Yeah. What are the players' reactions to events in the game? We already talked about fouls, losing, things like that. But the most important for me back about this is behaviour in and out of possession. And we talked about this how many times have we said it, where when we're in that formation, everyone likes to attack. Yeah, so that's your behaviour in possession. How many times do we see that people don't like to behave correctly when they're out of possession? Yeah, and this is not in a 60-minute game or say 90-minute game because it goes through the development. You cannot afford to say, well, you know what, I'm going to track back 3 out of the 5 times, but not get back into my shape or in the right place on the pitch, the right position on the pitch when I'm defending. That says behaviour in and out of possession, doesn't it? Yeah, it just doesn't say behaviour in possession. Because remember, you attack as a team and you also defend as a team as well. Yeah. Key skills, passing, shooting, that's the technical side again. And again, you can see 1 out of them 4 are about technical skills. So in the first slide, you had 6 points. 1 out of 6 was based on technical, how good you are. This time, on this slide, you've got 4 points and 1 out of 4 is about your technical ability. And then at the end, this is just general game. As a scout, I'd be looking at how many goals you scored, substitutions, timings, fouls, and disciplinary action, yeah? Now here you have the FA 4-corner model. Yeah, this is what every scout goes by. It's not 4 corners, the football game that we play in PE. 4 corners of the FA scout model, okay? So, Muki, read the first 4 for me. So, the bullet points.
Technical and / tactical, physical, psychological, social.
Yeah, so again, Jay, how many of them are required? It says quite clearly in the titles. How many of them are them 4 points are to do with technical ability?
1.
1 out of 4. Yeah. So technical, tactical, obvious says it in the title. Yeah, how good you are technically, building on your technical skills. This is not to say that you don't have to. You need them technical skills. That's a basic. But remember, when you go to trials, like you've seen every time you guys have been to trials, everyone can play. Everyone will have some technical ability. They're there for a reason, aren't they? Yeah, because they can play. They're technically good. Tactically, that's where people need to improve. Here, right, this reminded me of many conversations that we've had. Physical. I'm going to ask you a question. What's the average age for a girl to have a growth spurt? So this is just talking about how tall you grow. So what's the age range for a girl to be growing in?
Is it like,
I don't know.
like 12 to 14?
Yeah, 12 to 14.
Spot on, Ruthie. 12 to 14, yeah? So a girl can grow tall in her 12th year, right? But she can also, it could be a bit late and it could be up to 14 years old, yeah? And the reason why this is an important point is because obviously later on you know that how tall and physical you are depends on how well you play the game as well, yeah? So that's physical. What about for a boy, Jay? What's the average age for a boy to be growing in terms of height?
I think you get your first one, not your first one, but you start around 13, I think, 13, 12, and your last one's at 15, I think, or 16, depending on if you're late.
They say between 14 and 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can be, that doesn't mean that someone who's 14 who hasn't had a growth spurt won't have it at 16. Yeah, it can go a bit later. Right. So the problem here is, guys, that remember you could be in the same age group, right, at under 12s, right, yeah, and under 14s, and you'll be in a player that, say, for example, you'll be 12 and you'll have your growth spurt early, but yet another player in your team or your opposition won't have that growth spurt, so you'll be physically taller and stronger than someone in your own age group. You know what I'm trying to say? Or someone likewise might be taller than you and stronger than you in your age group because they've just had that growth spurt at a different time. So that's what physical means. Psychological, Safa?
Like how you let your mind play.
Yes. Strength of thinking, really. Jay, psychological?
Exactly what Safa said. I think it's just where your mind is at and how your mind copes to certain situations.
You know, we'll have a little in the next couple of slides. There's going to be a little situation, yeah. What about social? Okay, social. What would social mean in this football setting?
Like how you talking to your teammates and motivating them as well.
Yeah, spot on. At 3 different stages, what 3 different stages would you consider social to be at?
Maybe when we're losing and half time, and that's it. I think and probably when we're winning as well. You gotta keep going in it.
Yeah. where I'm going to change that a little bit. I'll say before the game, during the game, and
After the game.
And that should be regardless, like you said, Mookie, that should not matter about losing, drawing, or winning. Yeah? It shouldn't matter about losing, drawing, or winning. Okay, so now the four corners here, right? Yeah, exactly what you said. We'll just quickly read over them. Safarid is technical, so this is not technical, yeah. So what they're looking for when you're in the technical department. So just read them out for me.
The ability to find supporting positions that help teammates,
Yeah.
in older players' knowledge of the role play they have within the team, and an understanding of how to attack and defend.
Yeah. Again, guys, how to attack and defend, right? Knowing your positions, that's all important. Remember, 11-a-side is a big pitch. You can't do it on your own, yeah? So it's about knowing your positions and helping your teammates. And in older players, it's about back to that point again. I wouldn't expect Ben to be at the same position as Ruth. I wouldn't expect Ruth to be, say, at the same position as someone who's under 18, because as you grow older, you have to have an increased knowledge of everyone's role in the team. Yeah, what's the role of a centre back? What's the role of a centre midfielder? We did that last week when we tried to give everyone bullet points about learning their roles. Ruth, read psychological for me.
Tries new things and is creative on the ball, maintains awareness of the game even during a break in play, recovers quickly after mistakes.
Yeah. Maintains awareness of the game even during a break, yeah? What does that mean, Saf?
And like when you're off the pitch, but you're still like thinking about what's happening, and like when you've got something on your mind, like about the game, you tell your idea to your coach, and then they might take it on.
Yeah, definitely. And it's about being switched on. How many times have we seen in our games, yeah, when like we don't know who's taking the corner? Yeah.
Yeah.
When the opposition team have got a corner, like we don't know who's marking who. So it's a bit about being alert every second of that game, or even during the breaks, yeah, because you're having that moment. So let's go on to physical. Jay, quick time, just read this out because we're running a bit out of time. So we'll just
Speed both in and out of possession. The ability to change direction when running at speed. The ability to jump high to catch crosses or head balls.
Yeah. And last but not least, social. Let's have Ruth read that out.
Provides positive and helpful feedback to teammates, demonstrates leadership skills, helpful before and after the game, collecting equipment.
Yeah, this one was the big one. When they looked at social, one of the things that they said is they were looking at people that were respectful. So, for example, you might not know this, when a scout's watching you, after the game, your mannerisms matter. Like, okay, you've lost the game, how do you react? Yeah. Do you go to help your coach pick up the equipment without the coach telling you to do so? So it goes to show that being a general good sociable person is just as important. That's part of the package of being a footballer. Yeah. We've got a quick minute to look at this. Yeah, this is Malachi. Yeah, an example. We're scouting. You guys are scouting on a Sunday League tournament. All of you are scouts here. You've been sent to this Sunday League tournament, and you've got a player that you've been given in your portfolio. And his name's Malachi. Yeah, you got told that he's definitely got potential, but in the game he pulls out of tackles early, and he finds it hard to recover from his mistakes. So based on this information, can you tell me, you can have a little think about it, yeah? Which corner is impacting Malachi's behaviour? Okay? Is it his technical, tactical? Is it psychological? Is it physical, or is it social? Why is he pulling out tackles early, and why does he find it hard to recover from...
Is there more than one?
It could be more than one, or it could be just your opinion on this matter. Jay?
I'd say it's a psychological thinking, because the reason why he pulls out tackles is because he's scared to get hurt, and he doesn't want to go back and recover from his mistakes. I think that's the biggest reason, because he doesn't want to, and he's not psychologically there, and he's just a lack of wanting to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Safa?
I think it's psychological, but then it's also technical and tactical.
Yeah.
Because psychological, they're saying that he's finding it hard and he doesn't know what to do, and like obviously he's thinking about that. And then technical and tactical, because like he's taking his tackles out too early, and that's
Well, guys, what we'll do, we'll stop the recording there, yeah, because we're reaching our end. Okay, yeah. Thank you, guys. Well done. Nice one.